Cody. So guys, go back to Channel 4. Another reaction. Today we're taking a look at, yet again, probably one of the most best, and probably one of the most heaviest hardcore metal bands out there today. We are talking about probably one of the best female vocalist front bands as well. We're talking about Spiritbox. For those of you that don't know, the Grammys just premiered the 2026 award ceremony about a couple days ago now. Grammys is about a time, to celebrate music, to celebrate artists, just the whole overall music industry as a whole. But we don't really get to see any, metal. We don't really get to see any metal band nominations. We don't really get to see any metal vocalist nominations. I don't really watch these type of award ceremonies. For me, typically they don't really interest me that much, especially because there isn't any, mainstream, metal bands that are in the forefront when it comes to these sort of award shows kind of thing. So it's usually focused around music that's not really my vibe, not really, what I like typically. So I don't really typically watch these, mainstream award shows that much. I did see some clips here and there about certain things, but but lo and behold, Spiritbox performed at the Grammys. I'm like, what? They allow this kind of music now? Was the metal community finally pushing in forward into the forefront of the metal scene? Are we finally, being recognized as artists, as people that aren't as scary as we seem to be? Because I was like, holy where are we going with the music industry? Are we gonna get finally some, more metal bands in the metal, full on, the mainstream media when it comes to music side of things? I was like, oh my god, let's get it. Let's go, Spiritbox. Let's go. Push the boundaries. Push the medium. Push the media, make them see that, we're here, we're alive, we like to generate some good sounding music too, let us show us what we got on stage. Let us show us that they're eager to receive these awards as well. So I was like, okay, let's get it. Let's check this out, man. I didn't see anything, regarding the performance yet. I did see clips here and there, but I didn't really see the whole thing. So today we're going to check that out for you guys as well. And it's a very interesting choice to show Spiritbox because they are definitely one of the heavier, metalcore bands out there today, especially on the female vocalist side of things as well. So it's a very interesting choice. It will definitely shock a lot of people who definitely do not listen to metal, who definitely are not interested or as not well versed in the metal scene, if that makes sense. So it'll definitely be surprising and turning some heads when you hear Courtney screaming for the first time, let me just say. But they managed to seal the slot, they managed to perform, and they definitely chose probably one of the heaviest ones off their latest album, which definitely makes me even more excited. Show those people that they are heavy, show the people that this is what metal is. Don't be, it could be intimidating to some people, especially if this is the first time listening to a metal song, but it definitely shows, Spiritbox isn't afraid to show their heavy side. They're not afraid to show, what makes Spiritbox, if that makes sense. So they could have gone with one of their more poppy ones and Courtney doing more of a clean singing, but so they decided to go with the most heavy one. So I'm definitely super excited to check this out for you guys. But before we get started, be sure to scope and appreciate it and to really help me out. And if you like Spiritbox just as much as I do, be sure to like on this video as well. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by, checking out some awesome music. We're just getting started on these heavy bangers. Ladies and gentlemen, no time wasting. Let's get right into it. This is Spiritbox's Grammy 2026 live performance of Soft Spine.
I need to go. Going. And let's go.
These next performers personify modern metal with intensity, precision, and emotional weight.
Wait, hold up. Is that
Nominated
Anthony from
this year for
Smosh?
Best Metal Performance.
Wait a minute. Looks like Anthony from Smosh. Hold up. They got him to host the Grammys as well? Well, guess anyone can do it as well. I know it's not him, but, it looks like him, to be honest. But, Anthony, maybe a good-looking guy, not gonna lie. Definitely can see the resemblance in the, facial structure here. But let's see what the... I'm just gonna keep it going.
Performance, please give a rock and roll welcome to Spiritbox.
Oh, these guys, these people do not know what they're in for, man. Oh, these people sitting in the seats here, they have no idea what's about to happen. People are gonna get melted in their seats. Oh, let's go, boys. Let's go, Courtney. You will deserve each other. Woo! Already bringing the doom. Go, boys! Woo! go, Courtney! Reel them in with those screams! Oh yeah! His bass band's in it! Rip it up, boys! Make those people spin in their seats! Oh man, the vocals are so clean, man. Oh yeah, man. If I was there, man, I'd be the only one headbanging in that seat. Woohoo! Hit those harmonics. Oh, let's go, Courtney. Woohoo! Bring it right down to the mainstream. Oh man, he just sounds so deep, even on the stage. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go, Spiritbox. Let's get it. Oh, we got one guy standing up in the front there. We got one guy. But he definitely liked it. But yet, majority of everyone sitting in their seats.
That was fierce AF. Give it up for Spiritbox. That was incredible. Well
Let's
done.
get it.
Don't you just love the spectrum of music we can celebrate?
Oh, is
So
that
we're
who
gonna
it
take
was?
a little departure from some
Let's get it, boys. But wow, what a slapper, man. See, that's what I like. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. You know, a lot of these metal vocalists, you know, a lot of these metal bands, you know, tend to be maybe intimidated. Maybe intimidated is not the right word, but tend to be overlooked by all these mainstream award ceremonies, by all these mainstream, you know, the music industry as a whole, man. They tend to overlook metal as a, you know, a genre, as a art form when it comes to music, man. It is sad to see. It is a sad thing to see, but I'm glad to see that they invited Spiritbox on here. I don't know how they got the gig. I don't know how they managed to work their way up into like the mainstream, you know, one of the biggest, you know, award ceremonies to date out there. But they managed to do it, and they managed to perform their heart out. They managed to perform one of the heaviest hitting songs that I would say. So it's definitely gonna raise some ears. It's gonna definitely raise some eyebrows, you know, especially, you know, if that was your first time listening to Spiritbox, you know, seeing Courtney on stage, you know, actually doing those screams live, you know, sharing her voice to the world, and to whoever amount of people are watching this as well. But yeah, very awesome to see, man. I like seeing that sort of thing. I'm glad that they got Spiritbox in there, because they're definitely blowing up as of late with their latest record. Definitely probably one of the heaviest hitting records, I would say, from them as well. But yeah, man, it's just an amazing thing to see. On the mix side of things, you know, you couldn't really hear the guitars. You couldn't really hear the tone of the guitars that well. It's very mudded down. It's very muddy. You couldn't really, it was a little bit low, so I don't know, the production on the value kind of things, kind of maybe, you know, a little bit of work on that, you know, especially on the live show kind of things, where it is kind of harder to hear those, you know, lower tuned guitars and that sort of thing. But you definitely heard Courtney's vocals, you know, shine through on this. She definitely, production on the vocals is very good. You know, I could definitely hear her voice, definitely hear those high screams, those clarities. Those high screams are generally kind of like hard to hear as well on live shows, especially when everything's just so loud. You can kind of, you know, get mixed with all the tones and the sounds. You can't really hear the high screams, but they managed to make the vocals in the forefront on this. That was a good thing for the vocals to shine through, to really hear her vocals, to really hear her, you know, talent, as I would say. But I believe this was, you know, in an introduction award ceremony. This wasn't really the actual Grammys. This was more like a pre-show, I think. So that's when they're doing all the live performance and stuff like that. So if I could be wrong on that, like I said, I don't watch these, you know, shows, but I think this was like a pre-show to the actual Grammys or the actual awards, maybe, or it's the all-in-one show. I'm not too sure on that, but glad to see that metal is, definitely on the rise. I would say it's definitely more in the forefront as of now compared to, like decades ago, I would say. But they should have their own metal awards ceremony. They should have their own, dedicated award show for metal bands, for metal vocalists, for that sort of genre. Because, all these other, mainstream, genres of music have their own award show. Like, they have the Grammys where they have just, it was just an overall category of all the different, music genres is there. They have, and then they have the CMAs, with country music awards, stuff like that. They have their own categorized section because, country music is just, it is their own thing. It's their own anomaly. They have the, it's a very one big, thing. So I could definitely see why country has their own music sort of thing. But metal is a very huge too. Metal is a very big in the metal industry. It's very big, when it comes to music as well. Especially I would say it's definitely one of the pioneers of what made music, if that makes sense, because it is one of the very first type of musical genres, I would say, from back in the day, from like early 70s to 80s, to 90s as well. It was definitely the forefront of the time back then. It was definitely what was popular amongst the pop culture crowd. It's definitely what made music, I would say, and definitely brought. We didn't really get to we didn't really get to like the more hip hop and EDM electronical stuff till like the 90s and 2000s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, type of stuff. So I would say metal arguably is probably one of the most popular and more influential art form, I would say, out there. So I'm surprised that metal doesn't have their own award ceremony. I would definitely watch that. Because imagine, the performances on that, man. We would have, Spiritbox, we'd have Knock Loose on there, we would have Poppy now doing their hardcore screamings out there. We'd probably have a whole bunch of range of bands. It'd almost be all-star concert at that point, because it's especially having all these, bands, having all these stars in one single venue. It would just be an all-star concert, I would say, as well. So they should definitely do that, man. I'm surprised they don't do that. But I don't know if they did that in the past. I believe they used to do something like that. I remember seeing something that they did used to have a sort of like a metal, award ceremony festival kind of thing. I don't know if they still do that. I don't know if it was like if it's still going on, but I believe I saw something previously about a couple, a decade or so, that they did used to do that sort of thing. The infamous, clip where Ali was singing his heart out on this like, decadent table, I would say. So I think that was one of the award ceremonies they used to do. But I don't know if they still do that nowadays. I don't know if they do, if it's called something else at this point. Because if they still do that, I've been missing out on this, big time. Because especially when it becomes, like free live performances, free performances from bands and stuff like that. So be sure to let me know down in the comments if they still do the metal performance and stuff like that. So, but they might not, because we're just starting now to get all these big metal festivals at the, turning around again, starting to perform again. We're getting Vans Warped Tour again. We're getting Aftershock. We're getting, When We Were Young Festival. So we're getting all these metal, festivals coming again. So maybe we're gonna get something like that hopefully soon in the near future. We're gonna get some metal award shows coming back again. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Not shying away from the opportunity. Putting themselves out there in the mainstream when it comes to their own style, their own music. And Courtney's not afraid to show off her vocal capabilities as we can see here. So definitely props to the band. Definitely props to I appreciate the production of the the whole award show for letting metal come in and show that what we have is special too, as in showing what we have is special too. And it takes a lot of creativity, it takes a lot of hard work to create a metal track, as well as all the other music genres out there as well. So we're all just big one happy family, man. We're just been misled this entire time. We've just been led down the wrong path. We've been criticized for all the wrong reasons, but we're just, as a whole, it's just one big family. We're just dying to listen to some good music as well. We just want to be included in these big shows as well. We're not as scary as you think we are. We're good, well-hearted people. So just be sure to let us in from time to time. I would definitely appreciate that. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, if there's any more stuff like this, be sure to let me know down in the comments as well. If there's any more award shows that let metal come in from time to time, be sure to let me know as well. Because like I said, I don't know if they still do that metal award show. I could be completely wrong on that, but if they do, be sure to let me know. I'm gonna have to check that out. If there's not past stuff I can check out from these award shows as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to hit the subscribe button, especially new here, because we're going through waves to go bang on our channel. And when you want to miss out on a single one, I guarantee that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.